Hundreds of students came out for Relay for Life over the weekend. We have all the details.
And we take a closer look at a very prevalent disorder that affects millions of people every year.
It has been warm and sunny these past couple of days, but we do expect some thunderstorms in the vicinity. I will have that in your full forecast, and stay tuned for this episode of The Shield.
Even in the shadows, baby, kiss me before they turn the lights out. Your heart is glowing.
Thank you for joining us here on The Shield. I'm Clare Rohan.
And I'm Hannah Warren. It was a beautiful day this past Saturday to celebrate another birthday as the VU's campus held their annual Relay for Life. Shield News reporter Amy Vanderheyden has more.
That's right, guys. Well, this year we saw much better weather for the 2014 Relay for Life, and that weather provided a great day full of fun and sharing with friends and donating for a great cause.
Last year it compares to a lot because we were in the parking garage, which was kind of hard to adjust to, and a lot of people didn't come out because it was pouring rain and really cold, so that was bad. But now it's a beautiful day, and we raised $4,000 more and plus some than last year, and there's so many more people here and 30 teams, so we couldn't have asked for anything better.
Celebrating another birthday. That's the goal behind Relay for Life. Started in 1985 by one doctor, the charity walk has grown to involve more than 4 million people from around the world. Valpo's event Saturday involved 30 teams that together were able to raise more than $24,000. The day began at noon and lasted 12 hours. Each hour came with a special ceremony and games. The Survivor Lap allowed those who have defeated cancer to take a lap around the track lined with cheering students. While some participants took the day to walk and enjoy the weather, some instead walked the entire time.
I am walking to, if we can't stop cancer from happening, then everyone deserves to be a survivor.
Everyone involved in Relay for Life has a special reason to participate. Many walked for family members and friends, while others walked to find a cure or celebrate another birthday with someone who has survived cancer.
It affects everybody's life, and to find a cure would be extraordinary, because it would fix so many things, and it would take away so much sadness.
I am walking for my grandpa who died of cancer just a couple years ago, and I'm also walking for more birthdays and more cake opportunities so people can celebrate their birthdays.
The night ended with a luminaria walk to remember those who have passed away. A special lap was also given to Jack Kunkel, the brother of a Valpo student who passed away recently. The Luminaria Walk was meant to reflect on the memory of those who haven't survived and for those who are still battling cancer today. For The Shield on VUTV, I am Amy Vanderheyden.
You may have noticed the increase in grab-and-go gluten-free foods in the cafe this semester. One of the reasons for this is the increased number of students who need to eat gluten-free, but sometimes there are just not enough options. News correspondent Lynette Grant spoke with a current student at Valpo about how she plans to tackle this problem.
If I want to eat with my friends, I might make myself sick, but if I don't want to get sick, I have to eat alone in my room.
Diagnosed with celiac disease her freshman year at Valpo, Sarah Peters does not want her gluten allergy to prevent her from living the college experience. But with gluten-free options very limited on campus, it is quite difficult to do just that.
They have a lot of grab-and-go and things you can make in your room, but in Founders, there's usually very minimal hot foods that you can go in and sit down and eat dinner with or lunch with your friends.
As a student representative for UDI's Gluten-Free, Sarah wants to see some changes. How does she plan to go about getting those changes and making the campus a little more gluten-free aware? With a little help from Wheat Watchers. Wheat Watchers is a new organization that Sarah is trying to start and promote on campus. They are marketing to people who have celiac disease or just eat gluten-free for their own sake. Their advisor, Kyle Fausch, feels the same as Sarah when it comes to gluten-free options on campus.
We look in our cafe specifically where they have a whole island that's guaranteed, specific for gluten-free items. You're seeing we have some muffins and breads and, minor things in the main Founders out here, but we're expanding that.
Sarah hopes that Wheat Watchers will make their presence known in dining services, especially for the safety of those who have a gluten allergy.
I hate to have to tell people to wash their hands and to change their gloves, but it's my health.
I'm going to train everyone on campus. They're going to be trained in allergy preparedness, from the people preparing the food to the people serving the food to catering upstairs for catered events.
Reporting for The Shield on VUTV, I'm Lynette Grant.
Today we are bringing you a special here on The Shield, bringing epilepsy to the forefront. Based on the national average, according to the Epilepsy Foundation, 1 in 26 Americans will develop epilepsy in their lifetime. To put that into perspective, 174 students here at Valpo can develop epilepsy. What should be disconcerting is that epilepsy can be life-threatening, so much in fact that 30% of the cases cannot be treated with medication. Many students are not aware of the behaviors that can lead to having a seizure, such as excessive drinking, excessive use of prescription medication, and even sleep deprivation. I sat down with senior nursing major Lexi Mancini to gain a health professional's perspective on epilepsy.
Unfortunately, a lot of times doctors can't figure out exactly what that trigger is. You can go through a bunch of different testing to try and figure out what it is that causes those neurons to fire in such an irregular pattern. A lot of the times it can be excessive alcohol drinking, lack of sleep for a prolonged period of time, different brain injuries or like a brain tumor, hormonal changes, things like that can trigger these neurons.
Even our very own Parker Gatewood shared his experience with this neurological disease.
I think from just regular what people associate with a seizure to one instance I walked a place I didn't know I was going. So when I was younger, they would occur anywhere from 20 to 40 times a day, and as I grew older and was put on medication like Depakote and other medication, it would go down. The seizures would go down with each year. Wasn't a big fan of sharing. I mean, it's funny now. Looking back, I was a super quiet kid, in elementary school. So I really did not want to. I didn't want to share my favorite color, let alone that I have epilepsy and I could start to seize at any moment. I just think that people sometimes treat it as a joke.
As you heard from Parker, epilepsy does not disable you from living a normal life. Susan Boyle, Neil Young, Lil Wayne, and Amy Lee are just a few successful individuals who haven't let epilepsy debilitate their lives.
Thank you, Hannah, for that story. Turning now to the south side of campus, the beams are now standing for what will be the newest addition to the Chapel of Resurrection. VUTV spoke with Pastor Shar on how the addition is construction is coming along.
Actually, we're maybe even a little bit ahead of schedule. Last week, Brian Johnson, who's Executive Director of Campus Ministries, he told us that if things keep moving at the pace they're moving now, we will move in July. So we're really looking forward to hopefully being in before next year's school year starts, and we're still on schedule to dedicate at homecoming a year from this fall. So we're right on schedule.
We also asked Pastor Shar whether or not the chapel will need to be closed due to the construction.
Right now, we don't anticipate that. We shut down the chapel a couple of years ago and we redid the windows because that was directly impacting the chapel itself. When we get to some work that we're going to be doing here in the narthex, that might impact the narthex, figuring out how we're getting handicap restrooms and things like that. But in terms of an expectation that we're going to have to close shop, not at this time.
Pastor Shar also mentioned that the last beam to be installed will be displayed near the main entrance to the chapel for students and community members to sign. Look for it within the next 2 to 3 weeks. You know, we've been having such unfall-like weather, and it's almost October. I wonder if we'll be getting that anytime soon. What do you think, Emily?
Yeah, we actually have. It's been sunny and warm and beautiful these last couple of days, but actually for our 5-day forecast, we are expecting cooler temperatures as well as some rain on the way, so it is going to seem more fall-like. I will have your full forecast for you after the break.
On a campus plagued with terrible weather, Valpo students suffer from boredom with no motivation to leave their room. They begin to search for free movies and stumble upon Valpo's new free movie streaming website. where you get unlimited free access to recent movies like Despicable Me 2 and Jobs at the tips of your fingers. So if you're feeling bored, then don't wait. Grab some friends, find a seat, and enjoy a movie on movies.valpo.edu.
This was the scene Sunday morning in downtown Hong Kong as protesters reacted to tear gas and increasing force from law enforcement officials. The demonstrations come in response to China's decision to allow only Beijing-vetted candidates to stand in the city's elections for chief executive. Hong Kong's top civil position, tensions have been running high as citizens of Hong Kong are concerned about China's growing control over the government in that region.
We want to select our own chief executive, by our people. I want someone who is for the people, and consider own good of us, not for the Chinese government only.
On Sunday, organizers called for the tens of thousands of protesters to return home. However, the demonstrations continued well into Monday morning. At least 34 people have been injured in the protests.
Chicago airports are still feeling the effects of last week's fire at an air traffic control center in Aurora. Brian Howard, an FAA contractor from Highland, Indiana, set the fire on Friday as part of an attempt to take his own life. Both O'Hare and Midway airports in Chicago were forced to make thousands of flight cancellations because of the fire. As of Monday, O'Hare was operating at 60% of their normal capacity, and Midway was operating at 75%.
You just have no choice. There's long lines at all the other airlines, so you can try to get on another flight at another airline, but the longer you're waiting in line, the more people in front of you are catching those flights.
Aviation authorities say that the repairs to the air traffic control center will take about 2 weeks and should be fully operational by October 13th.
An American physician who has been exposed to the Ebola virus is expected to be admitted to the National Institutes of Health Clinical Center. The physician was volunteering in an Ebola treatment unit in Sierra Leone. NIH officials say the patient will undergo observation and will enroll in a clinical study. NIH officials have assured the locals that every precaution is being taken to ensure the safety of patients, NIH staff, and the public.
Police say Alton Alexander Nolan beheaded a co-worker and tried to kill another woman following an altercation at an Oklahoma food processing plant this past Thursday.
Law enforcement officials tell CNN Alton Nolan spent time watching videos of beheadings online, sometime before he allegedly severed the head of one of his co-workers and repeatedly stabbed another. He was stopped only when his boss shot him.
It sounds like he's running around out here.
Okay.
And that's a gunshot.
Just before that 911 call, law enforcement sources say Nolan was told he was in trouble at work at Vaughn Foods, in part for disruptive behavior, trying to convert his co-workers to Islam. Shortly after receiving the news, he took out a knife and allegedly started attacking co-workers at random, killing Colleen Hufford, a 54-year-old grandmother.
It could have gotten a lot worse. This guy definitely was not going to stop.
Over the weekend, Nolan's family came to his defense.
My son was raised up in a loving home.
But this isn't the first time Nolan has been in trouble with the law. In 2010, this Oklahoma state trooper got into a scuffle with Nolan during a traffic stop. After learning about Thursday's beheading, the trooper made this chilling statement to CNN.
If there had been any way to know the things that he is alleged to have done a couple of days ago, I would have killed him when I had the opportunity.
Realtors in Charlottesville, Virginia have been enlisted by local police to help in the search for a missing University of Virginia student. Hannah Graham disappeared on September 13th. The Charlottesville police chief is asking realtors and leasing agencies in the area to check their vacant properties for any signs of her. On Friday, the Charlottesville Area Association of Realtors released a statement saying that all of them had been notified of the request. Some started inspecting their properties as early as that morning. Realtor Rivs Bailey and his company are spreading the word.
Extra eyes, boots on the ground, checking property and looking for any kind of signs of Hannah that we can is something that we should all be doing.
Jesse Matthews was taken into custody in Texas earlier last week as a suspect in Hannah Graham's disappearance. Police believe he was the last person with her. And coming up after the break, Emily Kennedy joins us for her full weather forecast.
So even though it seems like it has been awfully warm these past couple of days, we still are actually below what it was last year. As we can see, October 1st and last year, we were actually at 78 degrees, but this year we're only forecasted to be at 73. So although we seem like we were warmer from all this high pressure we've been having, we're actually still below what we were last year. But here's your RPM forecast model taking you out for tomorrow. Throughout the rest of the day, we are expected to have clear skies today into Wednesday morning. Wednesday is going to be the same thing again, absolutely beautiful skies as that high pressure keeps us nice and sunny. Clear skies 10 a.m. Wednesday morning, stepping it through. By the time we reach Wednesday evening at 5 p.m., those clouds are starting to move in from the west, so we're going to be seeing more clouds as well as a possibility for some thunderstorms as we get into Wednesday evening into Thursday morning. So here's a preset expectancy. So we see if Thursday is when we're actually finally going to get that rain totals. This is Thursday afternoon at 2 p.m., so some storms are actually still going to be moving through at this time, so we will expect it to get more than this, but they're saying by 2 p.m. on Thursday we'll be at 0.2 inches of rain, so that rain will finally be starting for us on Thursday. For Tuesday, your RPM forecast model across the region is going to be in the 50s, low 50s, 7 a.m. on Tuesday. This morning it was expected to be, but moving into this afternoon we heated up into the mid 60s, and then stepping that through into tomorrow tomorrow morning, 48 degrees. It's going to actually sink down into the lower 40s Wednesday morning, but then stepping it through by time Wednesday at 10 a.m. going off the class is going to be in the upper 50s, so you still might want a jacket as you're heading outside, but going to be a little bit warmer, and we can see those warmer temperatures starting to creep up again Wednesday afternoon, going to be in the low 70s for our high on Wednesday. But for tonight, we're going to sink down to that low of 47 degrees, partly cloudy skies across the area, northeast winds at 5 miles per hour. But for tomorrow, we're going to heat up to 73 degrees, mostly sunny skies, and those winds out of the southeast at 5 miles per hour. And here is your 5-day forecast. Like I said, today is going to be absolutely beautiful, sunny skies, temperatures in the low 70s once again. But as we finally get into Thursday, we're able to see those thunderstorms move into our area, as well as some cooler temperatures behind that. Taking a look at Saturday, we're going to be in the upper 60s once again, as well as a chance for some more rain and thunderstorms. But by the time we get into Sunday, things are going to cool down a little bit, and we'll see those sunny skies once again. So just got to get through. Make sure you bring an umbrella with you if you guys are heading out anywhere, because we will have the rain for Thursday and Friday.
So we're going to cool down a little bit.
Yeah. It's going to break. The ridge that's sitting over us is finally moving out. That was bringing us all those sunny skies, and we will actually see some rain and cooler temperatures.
So we should enjoy the sunshine while it lasts, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah,
put the sandals away and have to bring out the winter coats and the boots, sounds like.
Yeah, and some jackets for sure.
Thanks, Emily. Up next, Rachel Dabertin will join us in studio for an update in Velpa Athletics. Stick with us.
Hi everybody, I'm Dick Vitale of ESPN, and I'm on VUTV. It's awesome, baby, with a capital A.
Joining us now in the studio is Rachel Dabertin with a look at sports. Rachel.
Thanks, guys. While the Crusader athletic programs did not pick up as many wins as they did last week, success was still a theme for most. All eyes were on the Valpo football team this weekend as they looked to extend their winning streak to 2 games for the first time since 2007. The Crusaders faced off against component McCampbell, for who they had beaten in the last 3 years. The game was in the balance for 3 quarters, and Valpo headed into the 4th only trailing by 3. But the Camels scored and stretched the lead to 10. This would end up being the margin of victory. McCampbell topped Valpo 34-24, forcing the Crusaders to fall to a season of 1-3. The volleyball team made the road trip to Wisconsin to take on Horizon League components Green Bay and Milwaukee. The first match was on Friday against Green Bay, and the Crusaders went into the match with a 13-1 record. They would continue their winning ways as they triumphed over the Phoenix in straight sets. Emily McCampbell led the way for Valpo with 18 kills and 12 digs. The Saturday matchup was a truly remarkable one, and it took 5 sets to decide a winner. Milwaukee jumped out to an early 2 sets with nothing from Valpo, but the Crusaders charged back and taking the next 2 sets and forcing a 5th. Valpo had it 8-2 lead in set 5, but the Panthers proved that they too could battle back from adversity, coming storming back to win a final set 15-12. Once again, Emily McCampbell led the way for Valpo with 21 kills and 15 digs. Both soccer teams were in action this weekend as they continued to exert their dominance in Horizon League play. The men's team improved 5-1-2 with a 2-1 win over Belmont in overtime. The women's soccer improved as well with a 5-1-4 by defeating Cleveland State by the final score of 1-0. And that does it for sports. Remember to always stay connected at valpoathletics.com. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Rachel. After the break, Emily is back for a last look at your Valpo weather forecast. Stay with us.
Your love is bright as ever, even in the shadows.
Interested in the television industry? Stop by our office in Schnabel Hall and join VUTV today.
Good morning, Valparaiso University. What's a better way to start your day than with a new jam? And WVUR has just what you need.
But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it...
If dying young won't change your mind, baby,
Broadcasting sports, news, weather, and music on air, online, and on campus. WVUR is my jam.
A big project will be entering construction in the Valpo community. Valparaiso, the next generation, will be rebuilt for community members in early October. Our very own Ricky Cody sat down with 2 board members of the project who expressed the importance of the revamp, along with how the VU student body can get involved.
You alluded to something that's really important too, is that while it is a park, there's so much more here. The idea that you have community members coming together, people who have maybe not even been a part of the Valparaiso community. I mean, you coming back into this community back in the 80s and immediately got sucked into the family atmosphere across this town. And being a student here, we see that too. And I think that's just absolutely phenomenal.
Well, I know that even speaking to the funds that we've raised and the people that have stepped up, people understand, they get it, that that parks are more than just parks. They're a connection to the community. And really a bellwether of how a community is. It's not necessarily the vibrancy of the downtown or whatever, but it's all, the parks are always a part of the whole picture. So our donors really get that. And quite honestly, for myself, we moved here about 19 years ago, so we missed the first build. But really, when you look at why you want to choose to live in a community, you look at things like parks.
To catch the entire interview, be sure to watch Crusader Conversation Monday through Friday at 9:30, 12:30, and 8:30, right here on Channel 82.
Joining us one last time is Emily Kennedy with a final look at weather. Emily?
Hi, thanks guys. Yeah, we're going to be having some sunny skies today, but this weekend, Thursday, we're going to have some thunderstorms, some cooler temperatures on the way. So if you're heading anywhere on Thursday, make sure you're bringing an umbrella with you. And as those storms move through, we are going to have a little bit of cooler temperatures. So you might want to bust out your jacket come this weekend. So keep your jacket handy and your umbrella, guys.
Alrighty. Well, thanks, Emily, and that's about all the time we have for you this Tuesday. I'm Clare Rohan.
And I'm Hannah Warren. To get on-demand VUT coverage, log on to youtube.com/ValpoVUTV or like us on Facebook, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at ValpoVUTV. For Emily Kennedy, Rachel Dabertin, and all of us here at VUTV. Have a great rest of the week.
Baby, kiss me before they turn the lights out. Your heart is glowing, and I'm crashing.